Today I'm going to teach you how to multiply fractions. It's very simple. You multiply the numerator straight across, you multiply the denominator straight across. In number 13, I'm going to multiply 5 times 8, and that gives me 40. I'm going to multiply 7 times 6, which is 42. This is a proper fraction. The only thing I need to do to my answer is simplify it. All answers must be in simplest form. To simplify this fraction, I think of a common factor that 40 and 42 have. I'm thinking of 2. I can divide both of them by 2. 40 divided by 2 is 20. I'm going to write over this other problem. And 42 divided by 2 is 21. I think again to see if I can simplify it any further. The only factors of 21 are 3 times 7, and 3 and 7 are not factors of 20. So my final answer is 20 over 21. Okay, I'm going to erase that. Another way you can divide or multiply fractions, instead of simplifying when you get your answer, is to simplify before you actually multiply across. That's called cross-canceling. I can come over to the 6 and the 8 and cross them off, and think of a factor that I can simplify them by. I know I can divide them both by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I simplified before I actually multiplied. Again, that's called cross-canceling. Now I can do 5 times 4, which is 20, and 3 times 7, which is 21. Notice I got the same answer, but my answer this time is already simplified. It's in simplest form. I'm going to erase that. So once again, you have two options. You can cross-cancel. It must be done diagonally in either direction. And basically cross-canceling is taking the two numbers diagonally and canceling them out or simplifying them before you actually multiply across. Whoops. Trying to erase. Okay, let's look at an example that has a mixed number in it. Number 14. The first thing I'm going to have to do is take my mixed number and turn it to improper. You've learned the check mark method. You would multiply here and then add the numerator up here. So I have 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So I know that this is going to be 5 over 2 times 1 over 10. Simplifying before you actually multiply makes it easier. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can do the cross-canceling, which I can. If I look across, 5 and 10 have a factor in common. I could simplify them by dividing both by 5. If I do 5 divided by 5, I would get 1, and 10 divided by 5 is 2. Now I'm ready to multiply across. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. Again, my answer is in simplest form. I'm going to show you that again, but I'm not going to cross-cancel. I would still do my checkmark method, and I would have 5 over 2. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. The denominator stays the same. Times 1/10. If I go ahead and multiply straight across, I would get 5 times 1 is 5. 2 times 10 is 20. Notice my fraction needs to be simplified. I could divide both the numerator and the denominator by 5. If I do that, I would get 1 over 4. Same answer that I got when I cross-canceled. I'm going to erase. Try another one. Number 15. 3 over 2 times 3 and 5/6. I'm going to go ahead and first take my mixed number and turn it to improper. This one stays the same. So 3 times 6 is 18, and 18 plus 5 is 23. My denominator stays the same. Okay, I have two options here. I can multiply straight across, or I can cross cancel if possible. If I can cancel in more than one direction, I will do that. But if I can't, then I just cross cancel where I can. So I know that I can cancel these two. They can both be divided by 3. So if I do 3 divided by 3, I get 1, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. I'm looking at the 2 and the 23 across from each other, and I'm thinking, is 2 a factor of 23? And it is not. So I've done all the cross canceling I can. I'm going to multiply straight across, and I get 23 over 4. Now if you notice, 23 over 4 is an improper fraction. The numerator is greater than the denominator, which tells me that this improper fraction can be turned into a mixed number. It's bigger than 1. So to figure out what its mixed number is, because we never leave an answer improper, we have to divide. So I'm going to come over here in this open space and use that to show you the division. I would do 23 divided by 4. 4 goes into 23 5 times, which is 20. I subtract, and I have 3 left. Since we're working with fractions, we're going to leave our answer in fraction form. So I'm going to take the remainder of 3, make it my numerator, and the denominator of 4. And 5 3/4 is the same thing as 23/4. One's an improper fraction, one's a mixed number. You will always leave your answer, your final answer, in mixed number form. Okay, I'm going to erase. Okay, let's try another one, number 16. Of course, I need to change my mixed number into improper, so I'm going to do the check mark method. 2 times 7 is 14, and then 14 plus 4 is 18. I keep the denominator the same. Times 1/10. If I can cross cancel, I'm going to do it because it makes it easier. I know that those both are even numbers. Since they are both even numbers, I know that at least it can be divided by 2. They can be divided by 2. If I can think of something greater than 2, that's even better. So I'm going to go ahead and divide by 2. This crosses off to be 5, and this crosses off to be 9. Now I'm ready to multiply across. 9 times 1 is 9, and 7 times 5 is 35. You need to ask yourself if this fraction needs to be simplified. Sometimes it will still need to be simplified even though you cross-canceled. And that's maybe because when you cross-canceled, you missed it both directions, or you didn't use the greatest common factor when you simplified. 9/35 is in simplest form. That is my answer. I'm going to erase. Okay, let's try number 17. I do not have any mixed numbers, so I'm ready to go ahead and either multiply straight across or cross cancel if I can, and I'm going to cross cancel. I know 3 is a factor of 9 and 3 is a factor of 15. So I'm going to go ahead and divide them by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 7 and 4 do not have any factors in common, so I'm ready to multiply straight across. And I have 7 times 5 is 35. 3 times 4 is 12. You should notice that my answer is improper. You cannot have an improper fraction as your final answer. We must change it to a mixed number by dividing. I'm going to use the open space up here. 35 divided by 12. 12 times 2 is 24, and 12 times 3 is 36. So I'm going to have to go with 2. When I subtract, I get 11. So that's my numerator, my remainder, and 12 is my denominator. So 35 twelfths is equal to 2 and 11 twelfths. They are the same thing in a different form. One is improper and one is a mixed number. My final answer should be the mixed number, 2 and 11 twelfths. Okay, I'm going to have you try this last one on your own, and then we'll check your answer. Okay, you should have got an answer of 18 over 2, which is improper, and your final answer, if you changed 18 over 2 into a mixed number, actually is 9. It's a whole number. 18 divided by 2 is 9. I hope you got the correct answer.